Hello, boxing fans around the world. Thank you once again for joining us for another episode on Talkin Fight of Knuckle Up, featuring Carl Whittleson from Last Belt Boxing out of the UK. How you doing, Carl?
Yeah, thank you for having me, guys. Thank you for having me. I'm sure this is going to be fun and games.
Thanks for coming on.
No problem. No problem.
On this episode of Knuckle Up, we feature a great young artist by the name of
Lerrone Richards.
Who?
Lerrone Richards. Graham, I know you don't know, but his alias is Sniper the Boss.
Get out of here.
No, I'm not even lying. His name is Sniper the Boss. Southpaw, 5'11", 71-inch reach. He's rated 5th out of 52 in the UK, 20 out of 1,149 in the world. Super middle. The guy's a beast. Love this kid. I love watching this boy. The kid has every quality of a champion. As an amateur, he compiled a record of 91-9. Then he represented Ghana at the 2012 African Olympic qualifier, losing in the qualifier final round. Unfortunate. But as a professional, this kid has piled up some massive wins here, man. 15-0 with 3 knockouts. And you know what? Carl, when we talk about this kid, they got to do something with him because he's getting up there. He's got to hit some big names, correct?
Yeah. I mean, what I would say is that he had 2 years out the ring because of a management dispute. So what I would say, this kid's got some cojones, but he's got some time to make up as well. Yeah. So he's got S-Jam Boxing behind him, a brilliant outfit. We often get him on Last Bell Boxing, S-Jam, Shane Watson. Yeah. And also he's got Matchroom, so that's a very, very powerful combination.
You couldn't ask for a better combination.
Sounds like a 1-2 punch to me.
It sounds like a knockout punch to me.
Picked up a European super-middleweight title last time out. Very impressive. So, he's 28, so I wouldn't expect Eddie Hearn to be hanging around with him. Obviously, the new DAZN deal. Plenty of opportunity for fight nights. So, for me, he's a real deal. I like him. He's got more than one way of fighting. He can have a ruck with you, a fight for the North American fans. But he can also fight off the back foot as well.
Yes, he can. Yes, he can. In the ring, his IQ, his ring IQ is very, very big, very strong. His ability to, in and out, play the levels, cut the ring off, control the center, control the pace of the fight. His last fight against Giovanni De Carlos or Cornelius. Yep. Honestly, guys, go watch that fight, man. This kid, it almost looked too easy for him, and it almost looked like he was taking it easy. And you know what? He should have just came out and just dealt with it.
There's more gears in him, Mike, isn't there? There's a lot more gears in him. He can go up through the gears more, and he demonstrated that night.
Definitely. That was not the greatest representation of him.
No, and what I would say is that super middleweight division, I know you got Canelo at the top of the division and Caleb Plant, but there's plenty of movement for him to progress through that division quite quickly.
Right.
And what's going to happen with Canelo? Is he going to move up to 175? I think Richards is going to be a serious player in this division.
Yeah.
A serious player.
Definitely. I believe it. I just think that they need to speed up his movement through the ranks. He's getting up there at 28. Let's be real. His management team and his promoters need to really work him. They need to push him quick. They need to get him some big names, get him some big fights. It's a very stacked division, so he's got to make some moves, or he's going to get forgotten.
Yeah, I think, like I've said, he's got a very good promotional and management team behind him, so I'd expect some news to come out of the UK very soon. His next fight needs to be a statement fight, doesn't it?
Yes, definitely needs to be a statement fight. They don't have anything lined up as of yet, but he should be fighting before the end of the year. So, guys, we will definitely keep everybody informed about that, because this kid, when I watch this kid fight, it makes me excited just to watch him walk into the ring, because I know this kid's going to come and he's going to give it his all and he's going to come and make it fancy. His last fight, it was just way too easy, man. Against Giovanni, it just, Giovanni was outclassed, way outclassed.
Yeah, and I'm not saying I put him in this league yet, but obviously, we've had some great fighters in the UK at super middleweight. Obviously, Carl Fletcher named one for me, the best super middleweight ever to walk water. But I just think he could very easily go down as another super middleweight, very good fighter. Maybe not elite, but very, very good fighter from the UK.
Definitely.
He can definitely mix it on the world scene now for me. Taking Canelo apart, obviously, because Canelo is a special fighter. It'll be very, very interesting to see where they plot him next. You know, that next fight will be a very interesting one.
Yeah, you know, the next fight is really going to depict what's going on with him and where he's going. So they really gotta choose the right opponent, the right fight, the right time, and go from there. But it's got to be a statement fight, just like you said, Carl. It definitely has to be a statement fight.
Dare I say that you've got a big fight that's just been announced at White Hart Lane today? Could he feature on that undercard to get him some real exposure? I'm just putting that out there. I think that'll be a brawn for him. So, yeah, sky's the limit for this kid. I know, Mark, you talk a lot about this one's the next real deal, and you go into promoter mode, don't you, Mark? You almost do the promoter's job for them. But I genuinely think this kid is something special, and I think he's going to prove it.
Honestly, I get that feeling when I watch this kid fight. You know, I've seen him fight a few fights, and every time I watch him, it's almost like he's not really challenged. It's like he hasn't been in with a caliber that tests him yet, and that's what he needs. He needs to be really tested and see where he goes from there. Ray says from Last Bell Boxing, put him in with John Ryder or Durrell. You know what? Actually, yeah, definitely. Or Berlanga. You know what? Yeah, any three of those are good.
You know where I'd put him?
Where?
Philippines. Oh yeah, I'm not kidding. That weight class, that division, if you ask me, if he really wants to prove himself, you're either going to Mexico or you're going to the Philippines.
Well, it's quite interesting, Graham. Quite interesting that the Zone are obviously putting a lot of fight nights on in Mexico in partnership with Canelo's promotional company. So maybe that might not be too far wide of the mark.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But I feel he's still got a lot of work to do in the UK from an exposure perspective. So I'd want to be seeing him on big fight nights on the undercards, such as AJ versus Usyk. That's where I'd be putting him first.
Oh, you know what? Yes, definitely, because he's got to prove himself. And you know what? That would be a good card to put him on. Carl, do you know anything about his amateur? Like 91-9?
Yeah, obviously only little bits, because he only come to my attention, when being brutally honest, when he turned over into pros. But you don't get a record from 91-9 and not be a good fighter, Mike, do you?
Wow. Exactly.
Different game, don't get me wrong, isn't it? Yep. You know, almost different sports, if you're being brutally honest.
Definitely almost different sport. But
that's where his skill set would come from, and he's very, very skillful in the ring. So Ray, my co-presenter from Last Bell, makes a good point. Durrell's a very good name as well. Very high profile.
I think Durrell would be the best match. I think I'd like to see him against Durrell. I think it would be a great matchup for him. It'd be a test. You know, I think it would it would push his skill set, and we'd get to see what he's really about.
He
did box for Ghana. He did box for Ghana. Yes, he did.
He did. The reason why I like the John Ryder fight, Mike, is John Ryder's got a little bit of momentum at the minute. So for Lerrone to stop him in his tracks and beat him would probably give him more prestige in the UK than a Durrell fight, in my opinion. That's just my view.
Good point. That's a very good point.
But my point is, as I've always argued on our shows, is for whose benefit. That's why I say put him in another country. Send him for a year. Like I say, you think I'm being flippant, but I'm not. Send him for a year down to the Philippines. See if he can box his way out of that weight class as a champion, whether in the Philippines or Mexico or Southern California, where Golden Boy is located. Like at the end of the day, you've got a really tough weight class facing you in Britain right now in terms of moving upward. So what are you going to do? Pit against a Brit? What's the point?
From an exposure and commercial perspective, though, Graham, how would that help his profile grow by disappearing to the Philippines or Mexico? Where, to be honest,
Au contraire, I wouldn't say he's disappearing into the ether when he goes to the Philippines or Mexico or Southern California. If he's going to destroy a class like he's in right now, he's got to prove it elsewhere. I don't think he's going to prove it by having one bout against another Brit in the UK.
See, the thing is that if he goes down to Mexico, he's going to end up fighting a bunch of no-namers again. Well, and that's not what he needs. He needs to get in there.
Will he beat them all?
Yes, but until he fights a big name, he won't be proven. He won't be pushed along in the way he should be. And you know what? Ryder has KO power. Yes, Ray, I do agree with you. And you know what? That would definitely be an epic fight. Like, he needs a big fight, or he's going to end up disappearing. And you know what? It would be a serious win if he ends up beating Ryder, which will solidify his place in the weight class and eventually put him into, maybe a title match eventually.
And his profile in the UK would grow. Let's be honest, the first place where he needs to build his profile is the UK and then move on to world. If you want to call it domination, let's call it domination. But I just feel to go to Mexico or even California, I think he needs to get his story out in the UK first. That's just my view. I think he needs a big fight in the UK to announce himself to the UK boxing and wider public, and then move on to a big fight in America. Then maybe Jarrell, Ryder, then fight Jarrell to get a bit of a North American following, and then start picking up your big fights. So it'll be interesting. I mean,
Ray says Ryder, Eubank,
really?
World title.
Wow.
Ryder, Eubank, then world title. You know what? Sounds good to me.
He beat Eubank for me, Ray. He beat Eubank.
You know what? Definitely he beats Eubank.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Honestly, beats Eubank. When you watch this kid fight, every time you watch him, you're like, he could do more, but he's just doing enough.
Yeah,
it's like he hasn't. He's not showing us every ability that he has. And he has the ability. He has the ability to do big things. It's just every time he's in the ring, he's against a guy that does nothing or is shit or means nothing. He needs a good fight with somebody that means something.
Yeah,
or he's going to end up disappearing like all the guys that fade into the darkness.
Yeah, to be fair, I think you've been a bit harsh on him, Mike, because he can only beat who's in front of him. And remember, it's still very early days in his professional career, relatively speaking. So obviously, other fighters have had a lot more. Let's call it gimme fights than Richards has. So I know.
Well, Richards has what, 15 gimme fights?
but they might. To be honest, a lot of other boxers have a lot more than that.
True. There is a lot of these gimme fights going around. Definitely, a lot of boxers have.
But at 28, we make the point. Now's the time where we need to really find out if Richards is as good as we think he is.
Yeah,
I think his next fight will be a next level up, and then he'll start motoring through the classes. But also remember, it takes two to make a fight. So a lot of these super middleweights been looking at this kid and thinking he's always in the "do I need him" club. He hasn't got a belt yet, so why am I going to want to jump in with him?
So Ray says, Mike, he's a natural boxer. His style of hit and don't get hit, his opponents have been okay if you study their records. Yes. He hits and doesn't get hit. Honestly, great representation in his last fight against Giovanni. You watch this kid, he comes in, bap, bap, bap. He's out, in, out. He's not getting hit. His defense is great. He knows the range. He knows how to close the distance quickly. He knows how to play the levels. He knows how to cut off, the corner, the angles. He knows how to control the center of the ring. But we still have yet to see his full ability.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, but that will come, won't it? That will
yes,
come.
It will come. It will come. But we need to see him against the proper fighter to challenge him to bring it out.
Yeah, and I believe SJAM Boxing will manage that because, again, on the flip side of that, Mike, how many times have we seen boxers jump in with too high a level too quickly?
Many times.
So it's all about plotting that journey, isn't it? To make sure, it's all boxing's about timing, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Exactly. It's all about timing. Timing.
And Eddie Hearn's been there, done it, brought the T-shirts. I'm sure he'll plot his career. I'm sure, you know.
Yeah.
We'll have another UK world champion before we know it.
Yeah.
How many of you guys got on that side of the pond again?
Yeah. 0.
Carl, before we go down that path, I'm just kind of curious, like, in terms of what you've been posting on Facebook and your public statements. UK boxing right now is at its zenith. It's doing really, really well. I gotta admit, they're doing great. Okay.
Thank you. I'll take the credit for that. Thank you.
And you should, because if it wasn't for guys like you, it wouldn't be at the point where it's at right now. So thank you, Carl.
No problem.
But here's what I'm thinking. On behalf of the boxers, given the plethora of great talent you now have, should you not consider putting them against, and not just putting them into Eddie Hearn's stable and saying, okay, great, he's got signed to Matchroom, great. Why don't we pitch these guys against not just U.S. fighters, but global fighters who may not be known, but are in that weight class and equally as talented. And quite frankly, we the fans don't know that. We don't know how talented these guys in the Philippines or Mexico truly are. We've been talking about them. We've been talking about them for the past year.
Well, not only Philippines and Mexico. Let's call it South America as well, because a lot of Argentine boxers are coming over. And I'd argue, Graham, it's already happening. When you think the likes of Josh Warrington, they're bringing South American opponents over and they're getting beat. Yeah. So I could argue it's already happening.
You know what? Yes, the UK is right now leading the game with fighters. Honestly, the guys that are coming out of the UK right now are kicking ass. I can't lie. I can't lie about it.
Well, according to Ray, they're not kicking ass. Warrington got beat. Ritson got beat.
Yes, they got beat, but still, the UK is bringing it, man. There's a huge talent pool in the UK.
Hang on a sec. When England won the World Cup in '66, what happened next? What happened next? They won.
I know I've had a few paper rounds. These aren't laughter lines, but I'm not that old, Graham. I wasn't around in '66.
But all I'm saying is you can't just simply stand on your laurels and say, "Hey, we're a great boxing nation." You have to pit yourself against the best, and you can't just pit each other against each other. It makes no sense to me.
What I would argue, I know you've used a soccer, or we call it football, obviously. I hate soccer. You've used that analogy, but boxing is very, very different. There's a lot more in the mix regarding making fights rather than making football matches.
Yeah.
You know, you've got the promotional aspect, you've got the TV deals, then you've got the matchmakers. So I believe boxers will fight anybody, but there's that much politics in boxing. And if we opened that can up, it would be here all night. I think it's more about the politics and the promoters rather than the boxers avoiding fighting each other, because I believe that they'll jump in with anyone if you're a fighter.
The boxers will jump in with anybody, man. It's literally, at the end of the day, it's promoters and managers that are making this shit not happen. Champions got to fight champions. Good fighters got to fight good fighters. You have to have good matches, or people aren't going to watch, and it's going to get boring.
Tyson Fury versus Wilder is a great example when you've got a court case stopping a fight taking place. Well,
exactly, and now COVID has stopped it. Like, come on, this is getting ridiculous. You know what, Ray? I think Ray should join us. He's chirping you on the side here. Ray, I think you need the link, and I think you need to join us right now and come in and put your 2 cents in.
And another thing I would say, Graham, regarding the Philippine fighters, South American fighters, etc., I could also argue if a lot more promotional work was done with them fighters to give them a higher profile, then they would get more big fights. Yeah. Because they'd be more known. So there's a lot to this jigsaw, isn't there?
All I'm saying is when England was exposed to the world class that truly existed in 1966 outside of the country, they had to improve their sport, and they couldn't, and they didn't do well at it, and they still haven't succeeded. And all I'm saying is I don't want that to happen in the boxing world either. So if you're going to say that boxing is best in Britain, fantastic. But if you're only fighting British versus British fighters, you're not proving it to the world. So now what Ray is saying is completely the opposite. when British fighters go out into the world and go off against what we would consider completely unknown fighters, all of a sudden the British boxers are getting beaten. And even, I'm not saying that, Ray's saying that. So I'm just simply saying, if you want to really put Lerrone Richards in a world class of competition, I think his division right now is fought in other parts of the world. Southern California being one, Mexico being the other, Philippines being the other. And you might even argue West Africa being a fourth component.
But surely I come back to my point regarding profile, though, and the commercial side of it, because boxers are in the game to get paid, especially at a prize fighter, pro level.
Yeah.
So my argument would be, Graham, I hear what you're saying, but unfortunately, there's more money for Lerrone Richards to sit in your call in Bethnal Green and fight at a European level than there is to maybe go off to Ghana and fight their top boy in Ghana. So how would you convince a prize fighter to be going over to Ghana to fight for peanuts when he can sit in London and fight at a European level for more money?
That's a super great point, and I appreciate it very much. And I'll tell you where the answer lies. The answer lies in what we're doing right now, and that's live streaming online. Yeah. So when for example,
if nobody knows him, Graham, if nobody knows who Lerrone Richards is because the time hasn't been spent to build his profile in the UK, no one's going to watch the stream.
Exactly. That's the big problem. Is that there's a lot of these fighters out there today that don't have the recognition because either A, they don't have the funding, B, they live in somewhere where boxing isn't anything, and they're not being managed or promoted properly, and we get all these fighters that just go unnoticed.
I'll give you another example. What about your small all fighters? There's probably a lot of fighters at a southern area level in the UK who no doubt have all the talent in the world, but because unfortunately not been spotted or not been given the opportunities that other fighters have, same scenario. So you can ship him out and ship a lot of southern area titles struggle for views because they just unfortunately haven't got the profile. Yet you get the lights over, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, but Dave Allen's a great example. He admits himself he isn't the greatest boxer. But because Eddie Hearn got behind him, all of a sudden he's got that big profile and he's jumping in with all sorts, isn't there? And earning a lot of money. Jumping in with the Dillian White, etc.
Realistically, you said it right. He's got Eddie Hearn behind him. When you have the right promotion and the right management, shit happens. You know what I mean? And if you don't have it, you don't have it, and it's not going to happen for you. You got to have the right management. You got to have the right, promoters. You got to have the right trainers, the right coaches. You got to have everything right. Your team has to be right, man. You're not going to be. Yeah, it's a whole conglomerate. Like you have the fighter, but you have to have the whole team too. And if the whole team and the fighter work together, then they get noticed, they get title shots, they get recognition, and they make the big money. And unless that happens, they don't get crap.
But what I brought that up on Last Belt Boxing a couple of weeks ago, that exact point. And it had to do with Eddie Hearn, quite frankly. And what I'm saying is I'm agreeing with Eddie Hearn, but on a greater level. And I think we can democratize the entire boxing industry with our live streaming platforms. And once the boxers become known at a local level and begun earning money on a local level, good money. So I'll give you a good example. Nigeria has a bigger boxing community than the United States of America. Yet, which one is more recognized?
America.
To be blunt, America, exactly.
You know why? Because they got money.
Well, they have a media. They have a media.
Nigeria doesn't have the money to promote. They don't have the money to send guys to go and spar other people. There's guys working jobs 60 hours a week and still training and still fighting. And he's still not even in Nigeria, in the States. I interviewed a guy from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Okay. The man works 50 hours a week and still trains because he's a pro fighter.
I'll throw another name out there, Mike. Martin. I know I've mentioned this name before, but Martin Bacola.
Yeah.
Is a heavyweight and is a prime example because he's very, very talented, but he just hasn't got the promotional exposure or the TV channel behind him, the TV deal. Go and box rep Martin Bacola, quite possibly one of the most avoided heavyweight boxers around.
You believe that? Martin McCullough, most avoided?
Yeah, and his trainer's a guy called Billy Nelson. He's been on our channel and done an interview, and he's astounded how avoided it is in the UK heavyweight scene. He's always used for sparring, but when it comes to a big fight, he seems to be overlooked. He is getting up there in the rankings slowly but surely, so hopefully eventually he'll force a mandatory. But again, it comes back to that commercial viability, which comes, it must surround the boxer. He must be a good talker, have a good promoter to get these opportunities on the platforms to get him the exposure to the general public. So that's where I still don't agree, Graham, regarding taking him to territories that, especially in the case of Lerrone Richards, because I just believe it's all about getting the exposure for Lerrone. And I believe that starts in the UK and then goes further afield in the world.
Yes, you know what?
We're allowed to disagree, Graham. We're allowed to disagree.
I do believe Lerrone, taking him somewhere else is not the best thing for him right now. He needs to fight somebody who has some sort of, notoriety, somebody who's good, somebody who's going to give him a name. He needs one of those fights where he's going to be challenged, and you know what? He's got to perform and come through with a big win, and put that notch on his belt, and then start climbing the ranks. But right now he's had nothing but step up fights. That's it. You look at his you look at the list of fighters he's fought. Nobody knows who the hell they are.
Yeah, there's not many fighters that I would have jumped on to validate, but Lerrone Richards is one of them. So
yeah, definitely. Carl, I called you earlier today, and I was talking about this guy. I couldn't remember his name. I called you up and I said, "Who is that guy?" We talked about him, and that's it. We're doing the show about him today. I love this kid, man. I love watching this guy fight. He's very technical, and every time this kid's in the ring, it really looks like he's effort. There's no effort. It's effortless, man. He just comes through, plays the game properly, sticks to his game plan, and does just enough to win.
Yeah, Esham Boxer due on Last Bell Boxing in a couple of weeks. So what I'll be talking to Esham about is maybe coming on this show, and they can talk to you, especially after Joe Joyce's fight at the weekend, because that's interesting. Yeah. Joe Joyce is now mandatory for the winner of Usyk versus Joshua.
Yep.
Should he beat Takam, that is, which I think he will. So there's a guy called Shane Watson. He was hoping to get on tonight, but unfortunately he's tied up with Joe. But I'm sure I'll get him on. And then Graham, you can put your ideas to him regarding taking him God knows where in the world to fight. How about that,
Graham? Definitely.
You can tell me about your strategy.
Hey man, it's not a concept that I'm dreaming of. It's something that is born of real world politics and economics. And as Ray's pointed out, Nigeria has a huge economy. They're well financed.
But they don't dump it into their boxing. That's the problem.
Yeah, Graham, don't mistake me.
Yes, Nigeria has huge money. They have oil money. Yes.
I'm just simply saying. Let's just say Eddie Hearn was smart, and he is. Then why wouldn't he put his fighters on a whirlwind tour and just simply say, first stop Nigeria, second stop Mexico, third stop?
Quite interesting, Graham. They are alluding to the fact that AJ versus Joyce may well be happening in Lagos.
Really?
They've both got Nigerian heritage. So watch out for that one. But again, the reason why that's even being discussed is because of the profile of both the boxers.
Right.
So I'm not mocking you. I'm not mocking you. I'm just saying, it's very interesting strategy to come up with. And it'll be fun for you to put it across to Shane Watson from S-Jam to see what his thoughts were. So, with all sincerity, I wasn't mocking you.
Ray, click the link. Ray, click the link and get in here. Stop fooling around.
No, he's fooling around with this.
Yeah, stop fooling around.
He's putting in great comments that I want to debate, and he's not allowing me to debate them. But realistically, I understand everything. Like, quite frankly, from an economic perspective, I mean, my background in all this is business, and I'm telling you, if these guys were to be taken seriously, and exactly what Ray's saying, that's why Hearn went to DAZN. He wasn't going to take.
We haven't seen we haven't seen the beginning. We haven't even seen the beginning of what Eddie Hearn is going to do with DAZN. Okay, he's now free to do a lot more than he was. So we're just hitting the tip of the iceberg. There is so much more that's going to happen in the next couple of years with Eddie Hearn and what his vision is of what boxing should be. And DAZN gives him that freedom. Ray, you are 100% right. DAZN gives him that freedom.
Have you seen what Eddie Hearn's announced today? Is going to be the first televised fight on Fight Camp Week 1.
Really?
The first fight is going to be Zhu Can versus Lee Wood, Nottingham's own Lee Wood. So it's nice to think that at 7 p.m. UK time on the 31st of July, when the show goes live on DAZN, it will be a Nottingham fight. So that will be sharing the ring for a world title.
Are you going to be sitting in front row, Carl?
At the prices that Mr. Hearn's charging, probably not.
I heard it's astronomical.
Aren't you a media celebrity over there, Carl?
Carl's a celebrity all over the world, bro. This is last belt boxing, and come on, everybody knows him.
They should give you tickets, man.
I haven't got the profile you got yet, Graham. I can only aspire to that. So safe to say, I'll be watching on DAZN, but DAZN is still only £1.99 in the UK. So,
Carl, after we're not on live, I'll give you the feed that I use for free.
Allegedly, Mark.
Allegedly for free. Allegedly for free. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Oh, yeah.
So just finishing, I'll leave that one with you, Graham. I'm glad it's your platform and not mine. So just finishing off Lerrone Richards, I believe he can pick a world title up at super middleweight as long as Canelo steps up.
Yeah.
And I believe it's going to be the next UK big super middleweight, the big name in that division.
You know what, Carl? I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. I do believe that this kid can be the next big super middleweight out of the UK. He has the ability to, just blow people away. It's just if he's tested. If you test him and put somebody in front of him that's going to make him work, then we're going to get to see the ability of this kid. Wait, does Richard beat Pacheco?
I would say yes, Raymondo. What do you think, Ray?
Ray, what do you think? Ray, come on. You didn't come on the show, so just type it in the side and let us know what you think. Does he beat him?
Yeah, of course he does.
Let me just get a shameless plug in for Last Bell Boxing, Thursday night, 9 p.m.
Shamelessly plug it in. Go.
Yeah, we're looking. Obviously, we like to interact with the North American fans. So anyone who wants to find out more details, hit me up or get hold of Mike. There you go, Mike.
So Ray believes Pacheco beats him.
Well, me and Ray never agree on anything. So
no. You know what? I've been a guest. Thank you very much on your show many times. And you guys bad heads a lot.
Come on, Thursday night, 9 p.m. UK time. Come on, you can say it.
I'll be there.
No, I want you to quote it. Come on. Come on, you're allowed to. Eric told me it's all right.
No.
Absolutely. Last Bell Boxing, Thursday and 9 p.m.
Last Bell Boxing, 9 p.m. live.
Greenwich Mean Time? Or what?
That's right, Graham.
UK time.
Yeah, so like I've said, me and Ray often have, let's say, lively debates as well as Ander, but them two know nothing about boxing, and I'm always right. So that just sets up the show ready for when the guys join.
Ray, what's up, bud? We already gave you the link. You never chimed in. Yo, your correspondent here is just chirping you right now. You're just typing on the side. You have a voice. Click the link.
It's how we roll in the UK. It's how we roll.
That's how you roll. They just drink drinks and chuck shit to each other, eh?
It's good to have a debate, isn't it? Good to have a debate. So
now Ray's talking about Arsenal. Now what the heck's he going on about? He's obviously had a few pints.
Honestly, that is definitely a jab at Carl for sure. That's definitely a jab at you, Carl, right?
You know what? In all honesty, like, let's go back to your quick point, and then I'll get off the air here. Is Nottingham the central hub of boxing in England? Like, seriously?
No, I think that's a big claim. We're probably the biggest boxing town in the East Midlands. But no, I would say the Northwest, Graham. would be my call where the majority of boxers come from. Statistically, it's probably the Northwest. Liverpool,
You mean where I'm from? Lancashire?
You sound like you're from Lancashire. Yeah,
It's very from Lancashire.
I know you were born in Preston, wasn't you?
Yeah, so you got I think Matchroom is in Manchester, I think.
Well, Ray says don't be daft. London or Liverpool. Ray says don't be daft. It's London or Liverpool.
Well, last time I looked, Ray,
Liverpool. Okay.
Last time I looked, Liverpool's in the Northwest. But anyway, I'll learn about.
Isn't Nottingham kind of in between Lancashire and London? Like, aren't they kind of in between? Like, isn't Nottingham right in the middle?
Nottingham bang in the middle of the country, yeah. So it's not so. But I would say Liverpool, Manchester would be hotbeds of boxing. London as well in the lighter weights, probably, yeah. But I mean, Nottingham recently, looking at Carl Froch, Lee Wood, Nicky Booth, the Booth brothers. So, yeah, I mean, I'd repay the favour and talk about the state of Canadian boxing, but it'd be a very quick conversation, wouldn't it?
Certainly would.
Listen.
We're in what you might call the development stages.
Listen, we're definitely in a development stage. Okay. The problem is in Canada. We build our amateurs up, put them to that Olympic level, and then when they're done, we're like, who the fuck are you?
No, we don't. We sell them to the highest bidder.
No, we sell them to the highest bidder. Or we send them to Montreal.
I tell you, he's very articulate around the state of Canadian boxing. That's Cedric Bennington.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
Yeah, Cedric is very articulate when and very knowledgeable, isn't it, around Canadian boxing? Very.
Have you met his friend Randy? Have you met Randy?
Yeah, Randy's been on Last Bell Boxing Thursday night, 9 p.m. UK time.
Yeah. Nice plug again. Nice plug.
Yeah,
again.
Randy's very good.
If people didn't hear that, it's 9 p.m. UK time. Last Bell Boxing Thursdays.
Correct. Do you know what I'm going to do, Mike? I'm going to take a clip of that and I'm going to have it on my intro.
Yeah, do it. Put me on your intro. That's fine.
Yeah, because it gives us an international flavour. Then you see. So yeah. Yeah, but no, I've really enjoyed it tonight, boys. It's always a pleasure coming in, fighting talk. I believe you do a great job. I watch, as Graham knows, I get on as often as I can and give it a bit of a type in the sidebar. I still welcome the day when I meet Christian on camera. That should be very interesting.
It'll be great. It'll be great. We'll set that up for sure. Carl, did you get a chance to see the Susie Ramadan interview?
I did, and she was very good. I thought you was average, but she was very good. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. You know what? Yeah, I was pretty average. Oh, Carl versus Christian on Boxing Great Viewing. Yeah. Hey.
And just one final note. I know we want to get off here, Eric. I'm sorry if this is messing up your production. I'm sorry, Eric. I know you're the talent of the operation, Eric, and take me hat off to you. You do a great job managing these hosts. I'd want double time if I was managing this show.
Well, look how well Mike's doing. Look at his man.
Oh, there he is. There he is. Eric, the God's Eye. How's it going?
I have a lot to say about this whole episode, so I'm just gonna pop in here and just say.
I wonder why Ray hasn't popped in. What's up, Ray? What's up, Ray? How come you didn't come on?
So, Mike, one last point. Where's James at?
What?
Where's James?
Oh, I'm setting that up for you.
You scared him away. You
scared him a little bit. But we're gonna set it up. That has to happen. It has to happen. It will happen.
You know what? And if he's watching, you know what? I'm sorry, James, but if he's watching, I set you up to win, Carl. And you know what? You ran away like a little girl, and you know what? You were gonna win that debate. I set you up. I put you up on a pedestal here, and you know what?
Here we go.
Hold on a minute. Take a breath.
You didn't even have to get on the camera for him, and he ran away. And if he's watching, I'm sorry, James, but I mean, he showed up. At least he showed up.
Yeah, take a breath. Is that your bit over? So now you've given your version. Now I'll give you the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. Yo, there's his version, the other guy's version, and then the truth. Yes, definitely. So let's hear the truth, Carl.
So what was going to happen? James was due to come on to my show because we go live at the same time, if you remember. And I've asked repeatedly, Mike, to get him onto the show.
Yep, and he won't come. He's afraid.
I've even agreed from because we run a bit longer than you guys.
Yeah.
So he can join at any time he wants. So, Eric, you're not suggesting that I've got no bottle to debate with him because I'll debate with him every day of the week and twice on Sundays, my friend.
We just wanted to do it on our show.
Here it is. Ready? James, if you are watching,
come on.
You need to come on the show. There is a debate that needs to happen. Stop ducking and dodging. Stand up, put your balls in your pants and get here.
It'll be a very quick debate. So, it's up to him because there's only one winner and, and they don't reside in Canada. So,
Lennox Lewis did.
Yeah, for about...
No, Lennox is Canadian.
He's not Canadian, Eric. Where was he born?
He's.
Where? Well, I don't care that.
Carl, here you go. Carl,
I don't care that I'm free.
You ready?
There's plenty of refugees that have been born all around the world that call themselves Canadian. And once you're Canadian, you don't go back, buddy. Once you're Canadian,
you're adopted by Canada.
Once you're Canadian, you know what?
Just because you talk a lot, don't make you win the arguments. Like say, let me jump in down again. So what I'd say is, where was he born? Just answer me that.
Lots of people are born all over the world, and they don't call themselves where they're born. Okay, you know what? Lots of people have parents that they're born to, but they don't call them their parents. All right, there's a lot of things all around the world that happen for all sorts of mysterious reasons. But you want to know what? Is that when he was an adult, he made a choice to fight for a country which he called his home. And you want to know what? He called it his home enough that he fought for it. He won a medal. He won a medal for the country he calls home.
Carl, you gotta play the video.
I'm waiting for the video. I sent you one.
You gotta play the video for him. Send it to him on his WhatsApp.
Here's the video,
put me in a room with Lennox Lewis. Put me in front of the camera with Lennox Lewis. But you know what? I think he fought for Canada. I don't think he fought for the UK. I think he fought for Canada.
Belt, when he lifted that wheel belt, when he was lifting it up like that, and what flag was behind him?
Yeah.
It wasn't a maple leaf, I can tell you that much.
No, that was when he won his gold medal.
But I'm not talking about that. What flag was behind him?
Oh, when he won his gold medal?
No, when he won the world title, what flag was behind him? Come on, Eric, answer. You talked a lot before.
Lewis is British, but he's adopted by Canada.
That's what he said. I can't answer that question. No, I can't answer that question. You want to know what the beautiful thing about being a Canadian is that we're not a melting pot. We're not like the Americans, okay? We're not the Americans where, you know what, you become No. We're Canada. We are great because we include everybody. And you know what? Everybody behind us. And you want to know what? Just because we have a British flag behind us does not mean that we're not Canadian. Canadian.
Oh, my alarm clock will be going off for work in a minute. Are you done? Okay, now I'm saying, Eric. Can I try and do this uninterrupted? Let me try and do this uninterrupted.
Yeah,
Mike, did you or did you not say Lewis was British on Last Bell Boxing?
I did.
Thank you, Eric.
He was misinformed. That's why I'm on this episode.
No, listen. From his own mouth,
he was going off of script.
He was going off script, but he was
Eric, I've got a few words to say to you. I'm British and I'm bad. I'm British and I'm bad. Does that resonate with you?
You know what?
Does that resonate with you? Get me a video.
Get me a video. We will. I'm going to come after you.
We'll get his speech after he won his Canadian gold medal.
Get me a video. Stop talking and get me a video.
Graham, what do you think of this?
Even the siren's going off now, look.
I took the time to put a post on one of your Facebook pages, and it promptly got taken down by one of the administrators, and I got banned from that particular Facebook page. You know why? Because I posted a CBC article of Lewis holding the Canadian flag after he won his gold medal, blah, blah, blah. Okay. It wasn't my page. CBC is Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. It's not my page. I had nothing to do with it.
I know that.
Anyway, I'm just simply saying that was the end of the discussion for me. If you Brits are going to take down my independent posts just for pointing out the truth.
Kind of sounds like tradition, right?
Well, first,
Yeah,
Ray,
That's
listen,
censorship is what it is.
Ray wants to know who Eric is. Eric's our producer, Ray. You might have seen him once or twice. You might have heard him. He's usually the guy in the cloud who just talks, God's eye kind of complex kind of thing, Ray.
I'll tell you what, he talks a lot of nonsense. A lot of nonsense on camera. Let's put it that way. He's quite good in his side, but as soon as he comes on camera, something must come over him because he talks nonsense.
You don't want to put me in front of a camera, that's for sure.
No, I'm learning that, Eric, quite quickly. I don't know what you've been smoking, but
you're the one who asked for him. You're the one.
Carl, we're gonna bring Eric on Last Bell Boxing on Thursday.
he hasn't got the bottle. He hasn't got the bottle. It's okay why he's got 3 Americans around, 3 Canadians around him, but I don't mind being outnumbered.
It is what it is.
Well,
and on that note, Mike, take us out.
All right, guys. Honestly, great chat. Carl, thank you for joining. Thank you for coming on. Much love.
Rule Britannia.
Eric, God's Eye, welcome. Thank you for coming on. I love the
We
beard.
love you, Lennox. We love you.
Yeah. Graham, thank you again, guys. All the viewers watching, jab that like, click subscribe, knock us out those comments, man. It's Mike Or at 4. Knuckle up.
See you Thursday.